Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dota 2 Champions League Season 6, this lower bracket best of 3 between the Alliance and PRIES. The loser goes home, the winner will make it out of this group and into the main event. My name is Dragondrop and I'm joined by Llama Down Under. Llama, how is it going?
Most excellent. I just got off the back of casting some C games, so I'm really excited, and I've never casted Alliance before, so I'm pretty excited. So,
So
but
am I.
this is Prius's new lineup, I believe. They've lost some players in the recent CIS shuffle.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I seem to remember quite a few different players at least. I didn't quite remember Windex,
Reserve time.
Flo, Tama Wild as well.
So,
I haven't seen him in like
Windex,
forever.
yeah, Windex has been with them. Tomorrow used to be, I want to say, on some variation of CIS rejects. Could have changed
Alliance
up there. Sometimes I say CSI rejects, which is an entirely different show. But yeah, they had a lot of stand-ins. I know maybe a week ago when I was casting Join Dota League End, and yeah. But either way, we're getting into some bans and looking pretty standard.
Yeah, pretty much 6.85 is 6.85 as it would get here. Bending out the Doom, no surprise there. And bending out the Broodmother first. Well, Priest definitely doing the homework. Admiral Bulldog, of course,
Ten
one of his
seconds
more
remaining.
obnoxious heroes to play against if he's on that. I mean, of course, there's still plenty more.
Five
Alliance
seconds
will might
remaining.
be thinking about picking up the Nature's Prophet here in this game as well. Of course, come back into notoriety, but they're gonna go for the Wisp first.
Radiant
So that's
team
yet
win.
another strategy that Alliance have been known to run quite successfully recently as well, since they kind of came back into public favor after their performance at the Frankfurt Major. So yeah, that opens up a lot of possibilities. With Tiny, of course, being there at the forefront, and now Priest, they have a task ahead of them, but there's still plenty of ways to counter that. They can pick up Disruptor, they can pick up any sort of other AoE to deal with that.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
it's going to be interesting how Alliance decides to draft this Tiny. Of
Five
course, a good
seconds
combo,
remaining.
but we all know Loda is very flexible with the hero. And as you said, this is kind of Alliance's bread and butter.
Reserve
I'm really
time.
surprised the IO got through, considering it is
Radiant
a lower
team
bracket match, and IO is so strong. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, this patch IO is performing very well, as is Tiny. So a little bit surprised there.
Yeah, in the hands of the right team, the IO just changes the game so rapidly, and if you're not ready to deal with that, then it can catch you off guard, and you lose hero after hero after hero, and then before you know it, you lose your towers as well, because that Tiny swinging that big old tree, but, well, we'll see. You might not
Ten
actually see
seconds
that hero
remaining.
played, but Winter Wyvern, of course, one of the better heroes to
Five
deal with that,
seconds
just being able to
remaining.
throw down the Winter's Curse straight off the bat after a really low hit comes in. Earthshaker would also come to mind if you're looking for a
Of
support fund, or Queen of
three.
Pain. Just generally lots of
Alliance's
bursts,
turn
so
to
that if you
ban.
see the relocate coming, you can be ready for that. You have some tools to burst down the IO, then all of a sudden Tiny may just be stranded there. So, well,
Yeah, it's interesting as well because I feel like this means AA will be banned in the next phase just because both teams probably don't want to deal with the Ice Blast having a Wyvern and then an IO Tiny combo where you can land it on the relocate. So, not sure what
Ten
their next
seconds
pickup is
remaining.
for Alliance, but as you said, already got the
Five
Wyvern,
seconds
considered one of the
remaining.
hard counters.
do you pick up the Tiny here, or do you just leave that for later? Because
Reserve time.
you can be pretty sure the Priest probably won't pick it. They may ban it out, but then again, yeah, there's more
Yeah,
heroes that you can pick with a Wisp
Alliance's
anyway.
turn to
So,
ban.
and they pick up the Bane now. What do you
it's
think
not
about that?
bad, I think, to pick the tiny up immediately if you really know that's going to be your strat. It is something where, Prius can make sure to try to find more heroes to kite around a tiny. At the same time, though,
10 seconds
it's
remaining.
a tiny with an IO is
Radiant
very hard to
team
kill
win.
just because you can be relocated onto people's faces. You're going to get that Blink Dagger up fast since IO will be stacking the woods repeatedly for you. But instead, the safer hero pick of Bane and Prius, if they waste, or not waste, but if they use their bans on things like the Tiny, maybe the Chaos Knight, not wanting Loda to get those heroes he's very
Ten
familiar with,
seconds remaining.
then they're in a whole nother pickle where they're not banning out more of Bulldog's heroes,
Five
right? You're
seconds
you're in a rock and a
remaining.
Yeah,
hard place. Yeah.
absolutely. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Which has also been a part of
Reserve
the drafting
time.
strategy for a lot of Wisp pickers. I feel that you just expect the other team, once you pick a Wisp, that you expect them to ban out these popular combos. But yeah, as I said before, it's just so many more things that you can do with that. Like the Gyrocopter,
Alliance's
also a hero
turn
that
to
benefits
ban.
greatly from having Wisp around, but then again, what right-click hero isn't, right? So there's
Yeah.
so many options right now for Lions to go with this draft. The one problem that I already see is that they don't really have too much
Radiant
in terms of
team
counter
ban.
initiation. Like Wisp, of course, he can relocate someone out, but he doesn't really. have too much stuns to play with Bane. A single target as it gets, he can take out at most 2 heroes, one with a Nightmare, one with a Fiend's Grip, and that's only if he does get jumped on.
Yeah, he's really nice against the Queen of Pain, of course, because she does come in aggressively. Before she gets that Orchid up, she has to be very careful because she might take a Nightmare or a Fiend's Grip to the face. It stops the Co-op's mobility, which is what she becomes a pain for when she has that maxed blink. At the same time, Alliance banning out the Ember Spirit, kind of interesting. He is just a strong hero, and I'm trying to see if maybe there's more. I can't remember if someone on PRIES plays that particularly well. So it might just be that the Flame God, Searing Chains combo are really strong. And yeah, you can see they're split. They're like, do we ban out Gyrocopter? Do we ban out Nature's Prophet, right? There's a lot of things you want to ban against Alliance at this point. So, and I think what isn't the meme that you have to ban Nature's Prophet or you lose?
It is indeed. I think Malistrix posted a video about that as well, or yeah, he posted a news. Someone else made the video on Dota.com.
Yeah.
Just doing exactly that. I think it was a game in the defense that was about. But yeah, Bulldog, of course, doing
we've
once
seen
again
it.
just fearing things, right? With the Axe Refresher, Octarine Core, that kind of stuff.
So yeah, it's really powerful, and with the changes to the Aghanims, always nice now. So either way, for PRIES, there's still a couple things they can pick up. They could also try to pick something. It's possible here, as you said, it's a bit hard to run. It can be hard if you're not super experienced on the Tiny yourself, but PRIES could certainly pick it up to block one of those heroes, or maybe if it's the Chaos Knight they're more scared of, etc., etc. So.
Yeah, you can definitely still run these heroes without the Wisp, but it's feel you have less room to play with because the item progression isn't necessarily as quick as you want it to be, and you have no fallback, right? You have no help to farm the jungle as a Tiny, for example, which definitely relies on Wisp to get some health regen up and running, as well as the mana regen as well, just from the Avalanche Toss. That actually takes quite a bit of your mana pool, so if you want to try to use that to jungle, might need a bottle or maybe some fountain drips, but Alliance not gonna fix themselves on that hero just yet. Pick up a Night Stalker, possibly for that offlane.
Yeah. Also, almost more surprising is the Night Stalker making it as a third pick. I mean, he's normally banned or picked in the first phase. He wasn't in the second because both of these teams had other priorities. And one sec.
Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker is that's just, it feels like this meta is so balanced that there's so many heroes that you want to ban out, and that's not even considering the target bans that you have for certain teams. Night Stalker definitely one of those that is really strong, especially if you get some help. But even if not, if you just get like level 3 by the first nighttime, then you can do so much work just with 1 level up in Hunt and a Night and 2 in Void, or maybe 1 in Silence depending on the game. And this might actually be one where you go 1-1-1 build just to make sure that Queen of Pain can't blink away if you get commit or something along those lines. It's definitely a hero that can mix things up for you and can create a lot of space. Only a little bit more than half the time during nighttime, but still very effectively.
Yeah, it'll be rough for Queen of Pain this first nighttime, especially if it's an offlane Night Stalker. They're probably going to run it 2-1-2 just because Night Stalker typically needs a little bit of help in lane. He's not quite, although if he's up against the offlane Slaughter, again, we don't know if this Slaughter is offlane, but that's very popular right now. The Night Stalker, if he has level 4 at the first nighttime, Quap, he can go on Quap just with the night vision advantage. She's not going to blink away in time. She'll take the Crippling Fear. Good cost point on that spell. So, yeah, it'll be nice to see. And Alliance still not revealing too much. This Night Stalker also can be played mid, although I've seen that I think maybe twice this patch. So probably the Bulldog offlane here. And it's Chaos Knight. I'm so excited. I don't know about you, but while Tiny, always fun. I love watching a rock hit people with trees. Chaos Knight, I think, just really fun for the randomness. And, you know, someone gets an extra Phantasm and you're like, well...
Yeah, the Chaos Knight is definitely all about the RNG, and it's not a hero that we've seen a whole lot of, despite the recent buff to the crit chance, or to the crit itself, where it just gets some extra minus armor as well. But it's one of these classic IO combos that is just so hard to deal with if you don't have enough AoE. But in this game, I'm actually not all that sure about it, because you have a Queen of Pain with some pure damage nukes as well as magic damage. Winter Wyvern absolutely great against as many targets as you have. With the Phantasm Illusions, then you have a Slaughter who Sure, you can purge off the amplified damage once from the
Reserve time.
from yourself if you have the Phantasm up and running, or maybe a Manta Star or something along those lines. But just the crush is quite a nice AoE
Oh,
stun on a very, very low cooldown.
huge. Is okay. Crush AoE is actually huge. It's not quite a perfect counter to an IO combo because you can actually have the tether at max length outside of it. But when you like relocate in a lot of the time, it's like, oh hi, I blunt crushed you. Have fun. Also, it's physical damage, so Glimmer Capes being popular items, I'm not gonna save you from my Slitherine Crush. I don't, is it even called Slitherine Crush?
It
Oh yeah.
is, yeah.
Which is the joke, right? Because he has a Slitherine crush on Naga. But back into the
Oh
draft.
god.
Batrider banned out as well. So, okay, worried about S4's Batrider now?
Radiant team pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see how
absolutely.
that
I
would be
mean,
painful.
I mean, they would put the Night Stalker on Bullock in the off lane, which is not uncommon, and then yeah, mid lane would still be open if unless they really want to run that Night Stalker on S4 there. But yeah, I mean, S4 is the only player in recent memory, or generally, that does run that Batrider mid to great success as well. I
10
mean,
seconds
he can do
remaining.
so much with what he gets out of this middle lane. It's not even funny sometimes. So
5 seconds
PRIES
remaining.
definitely done their homework here in this
Yeah.
draft when it comes to the bans at least. So, and yeah, it looks like they have having a nice little lineup for themselves as well. Plenty of AoE, plenty of control. I feel between the Rubik's Ladder and the Winter Wyvern just to deal with Alliance mid game aggression, and then the Bristleback to benefit further from that extra minus armor that the Slaughter can provide. So feels like a well-run lineup to me. But now the Razor gonna be nice up against the Bristleback, the Slaughter, those kind of heroes that want to run at you, and then it's just an easy setup for stealing some damage right off the bat.
Yeah, Slaughter can deal with it a little bit better, of course, with that sprint. He can sprint away. You do amp the damage you take, but you can get out of tether range at least, even though Razor is very fast with unstable current. Bristleback, though, this is prime. Bristleback's going to have a really rough time here. And he was picked, as you said, he's picked for AoE. He brings a little bit of minus armor to the table. Entirely possible that PRIES does a very early Roshan, around the 10-minute mark, depending on
Oh yeah.
Slaughter's levels. But at the same time, this Razor could just annihilate the Bristle when he sees him. And it's probably, I'm assuming it's safely in Bristle. We'll see when these folks pick up. But I don't know if he'll farm fast enough to keep up.
Remaining.
Yeah, that's a question. It's one of the problems that the Bristleback has. Same for Slaughter, really. If they fall behind, if they don't get their core items up, then yeah, you definitely have a chance to just be rumbled by the relocate coming on top of you with the farm Chaos Knights. So, well, we'll see how the lanes would shape up. This might as well be a duo mid here with the Chaos Knight plus the Wisp and safe lane as 4 just farming up on the Razor. Might still be a mid Razor. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, they've got really flexible options, and it also could have been the attempted pick we won't see until they load in. But it's not uncommon for folks to try to. I've seen before, MVP Phoenix really likes to do this. They will try to run, or not just MVP Phoenix, other teams in C. They'll run a Bristleback against a IO, IO whatever combo in mid, because they're hoping the Quill Spray will make it really hard. But like with Tiny, Chaos Knight can have potentially huge amounts of damage output, and it just doesn't work. So, but either way, I mean, personally, just looking at the drafts, it's really hard to say just from a draft perspective because I've got a lot of biases having seen Alliance's IO before. But I mean, PRIES, they're not a bad team by any means. I would say a strong tier 2 team. So.
Not at all. I mean, if you look at the recent results, they haven't really beaten some of the more well-known names, but they've definitely beaten some. They've definitely been around long enough where you could say, all right, they're not all that bad. Especially if you consider that, I think their old lineup though, that was, but they did beat Alliance in the first game of this Group C, dropping them down to lower brackets, where Smoky Freedom Fighters they actually dropped out, so Alliance got the default win there, but yeah, it was a little bit of a comeback match for Alliance, kind of a payback match, if you will, as well, so.
Yeah, and I mean, how long ago was that first match?
It was almost a month ago.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
So it's also really hard to say because it feels like Alliance in the past month, obviously everybody saw their performance in the Majors qualifier, which I feel like was head and shoulders above previous performances from Alliance.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I'm not quite sure exactly where that came from, but either way, it's going to be some good stuff. So, yeah, and we're getting into it.
We'll see
No, we're
whether
not. I
we'll.
lied. He said yeah, but I thought that was like, oh, we're ready to go, and then I look up and he's still DC'd. And I was like, you lied to me.
Loda asked incoming, and they said, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, they'll be on the way. But yeah, we'll definitely see whether it's the Alliance of old and the Alliance Reborn, however you want to call this team, showing up today, and or whether PRIES can maybe kind of outwit them, outsmart them, outplay them, and that's a team, of course, coming up from the CIS region, from Eastern Europe. They are really, really good at early game aggression, right? Rotations, just putting on pressure on all three lanes as early as humanly possible, really. And if Alliance is not ready for that, as with a Bane as well as the Wisp and a Chaos Knight even, is pretty much the entire lineup that's not really suited to playing from behind. So if Priest can get to the point, if they can get a leg up in the early game, then might not be as rosy as you might think here.
Yeah, it's suddenly a lineup that if they get a good start, someone like Slaughter, he can output a lot of damage really quickly, kind of before you have time to farm up for the Heroes of Alliance, though Night Stalker is naturally tanky, and Chaos Knight, I actually have no idea. You start with 3 armor. That's good. I'll take it. Considering the heroes who start with negative armor, I'll take 3 armor any day of the week. So it'll be interesting. Again, as we said, I think if they get the early Roshan on Prius, it can certainly also help them out of a bind, but it's scary. I think, as we said, it depends on the lanes. And looking at it, we got Slaughter going bottom, although a lot of them are.
Well, before we go into that and before the lanes take shape, let me once again remind you guys, if you're just tuning in, this is the Dota 2 Champions League lower bracket elimination best of 3 series between the Alliance and PRIES. So my name is Dragondrop, I'm joined by Llama Down Under, and these are the teams. Starting with Alliance, we've got Loda on the Chaos Knight, one of his old school signature heroes here, along with Nuts, or My Nuts, on the Wisp. S4 playing that Razor, and that leaves Admiral Bulldog, the one and only, playing the Night Stalker offlane, and RK supporting on the Bane.
30 seconds.
Oh, I just realized why I've always wanted to cast Alliance, and I'm even more excited for this game. We'll get into that later. Let's introduce Prius. We've got tomorrow on the Bristleback. Stand-in No Name on the Wyvern. I'm just going to double check that it wasn't. Yeah, it's stand-in No Name. I'm not sure if this is the same No Name that I've casted before. Of course, it's hard to tell. We've got Windex on that Rubik. Queen of Pain's going to be played up by Flo, and that means have I missed out on Bristlebong? No, I clicked on tomorrow. Oh gosh, it was false Flow on that Slaughter that I forgot about in that bottom lane. I think we're seeing the lanes take shape. Also, I just wanted to mention something. With the reduction in price of TPs, it's really common now that we're seeing supports buy one of those 75 gold TPs, go out and place an early ward, and I really like these movements.
Yep.
So, and this lane is actually going to be just a pain for Slaughter.
Well, if Arca sticks around, definitely. I mean, that's a hero that's, especially up against solo lanes or dual lanes to some degree as well, with a Rubik who doesn't really provide you too much in the early lane phase. I mean, sure, you have a lift, but not much else. He can be very annoying because Bane has a decent range. He can Nightmare, or he can Brain Sap, or he can even go Enfeeble, and that's exactly what we'll see him do here. He'll put that on Fast Flow, and that'll make sure they just can't really get last hits. Right? We usually see that in mid, but it's for up against the Bristleback actually instead of the Queen of Pain. He can handle that just fine himself with the damage drain there from the, what's it called? I keep forgetting, the static link.
Yeah, and speaking of Queen of Pain, she is now, I don't think these are the lanes that Prius were expecting. Maybe it was because they haven't rotated, but we can see Queen of Pain having a lot of trouble in top lane, has already popped that salve, and she's having trouble getting levels. She'll be a bit better off since she's a hero who can go and blink away, but blink is 15-second cooldown at level 1. You're in a really precarious position against Chaos Knight, who can gap close and stun you so easily.
Yeah, that's a very low cooldown stun, and just similar to the Tiny. What the Wisp gives you is so much mana regen, especially if you...
Yeah.
And also health regen here, especially if the Queen of Pain is harassing him down. It's just, there we go, there's a... the blink forced out at the very least here already. Just a single Reality Rift.
I don't know if you saw bottom, but False Flow used Slithering Crush to CS. Like,
Oh.
that's how bad this Enfeeble is for him. That's why I had a sudden little giggle, because I saw that and was like, oh, that's how this lane is bottom. So I really did expect with the Night Stalker, Bane to maybe go a bit more aggressively.
Oh,
They want to
okay.
take Arctic Bone here. Are they going to cliff him? No, he was a bit too far away, but they steal the DD and Arctic Bone, really slowing him down. Does Rubik have? No, he's level 1. He's so close to level 2. Arky also, though, is level 1. And oh gosh, just you need to keep following, but not fast enough. If either of those heroes were level 2, it would be an easy escape for Bane or an easy kill for Rubik having the Fade Bolt, but just both of them on the cusp of level 2.
Yeah. Just one of these situations where you just, oh my god, I would have gotten it any other time, but yeah, as it stands, Arke gets out alive barely here, but unable to secure the rune, but at the same time, yeah, taking some of the attention from the support, so Bulldog can get a couple of free last hits, even with Fastflow not being under cover of Enfeeble, so yeah, and as a result, the Night Stalker, 8 CS, level 3 already, and still a minute and a half, more or less, to the first night time. So he'll have level 4 by then.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes
It's gonna
dangerous.
be a good first night. So, oh, no lag, but tiny lag.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just always enjoy these conversations the teams try to have with each other. Like, how's your lag? My lag's looking good, team. My lag's looking like a lag I aspire to beat. No, but let's talk about mid just a little bit. Bristleback's doing really well. He also got a bounty rune, I think, which really helped him out. And also the... What is these drawings on the map? But either way, Bristleback, he should lose this lane. You know, Razor has all the advantages. He static link steals your health, not your health. He steals your damage. He out damages you. It's easier, of course, that he's ranged. So I'm pretty impressed with tomorrow's play. Of course, it is level 4. This could change around as S4 gains more levels and gains more speed to keep up with Bristleback.
Yep. It's kind of great that he's got as many CS as he did here on a personal. I mean, that's one thing that that Cool Space can help you with, of course, always. It's the same kind of reason why Dragon Knights are being run in mid, or Magnuses even. That you don't really pick them to win the mid, you just pick them to stay alive and then get a little bit of CS thanks to spell spam, and then have your impact later in the game without really having to have a great start in mid. So that's why that pick may still work out well for them. At the same time, I don't know. I still don't know if that's the better matchup here compared to what the Queen of Pain would have gotten out of here. And
yeah.
Maybe also in terms of pressure on S4, who is sitting on top of the CS board right now, 21 and 9.
Yeah, he's only about 200 gold, 250 ahead of Bristleback, but at the same time, it's still worrisome. If you get a farmed Razor, he's just one of those heroes. I think like Jack of all trades, master of none, but with items he can become obviously probably their mech carrier just because he can get such a fast mech and make Alliance able to fight really well early. But then if he gets the Ags up, he's suddenly a good pusher. And it's like, combine that with a Chaos Knight with Phantasm can also be a good pusher. Maybe you're looking at an early push lineup?
Well, maybe not so early, since you kind of want a couple of other items before you go for that Axe on the Razor. And it's more of a luxury item. Oh, nice Noon Deny there in the bottom. From the high ground here, from No Name, but it is nighttime. So Admiral Bulldog is still pretty dang fast with just boots and at 1 level into Hunter at the night, and no silence just yet, so you can't really keep fast flow from just flowing away quite fast with the sprint. Yeah, that crush AoE is so freaking huge.
Yeah, it's actually giant. Like, I don't know, they patched it, I feel like it was 3 patches ago, and just something you can actually see that a lot of people aren't still used to how large it is, because people will blink and will move in ways where they don't need to be so close to get it off. But Admiral Bulldog just giving fast flow a bit of a go. I'm actually a bit surprised he's still down bottom. Maybe he wants level 5, or maybe he just thinks Bristleback is a hard gank, and if he has to go all the way to top, it's a lot of wasted time. You know, that's 30 seconds.
Yep.
Where he could just be making sure fast flow gets no farm and doesn't have the blink early.
Yeah, that's probably the reasoning behind that. And well, Ark is still around here, leeching some of the XP that he desperately needs. Not even quite level 3 yet. And yeah, if Admiral Bulldog left here and Ake was the only one around, then he would be actually an easy gank for PRIES here with the Winter Wyvern having that long range and the slow. Plus a Rubik, who's also got a couple of levels here, both of them have, thanks to the stacking and pulling here. They've been able to reward that Magic Bush ward that Ake was putting up earlier quite rapidly, I believe, so they've been able to utilize that.
This game's slowly but surely going in Alliance's favor. They're kind of winning every single lane. Quap is actually only level 4. The Slaughter, as we talked about, yeah, he might be 4th on the net worth, but he's farming worse than a Night Stalker in his lane. They don't even need to, on Alliance's side, I feel like, do particularly anything this night, just because Chaos Knight is a harder carry, it feels like, than Bristleback or Slaughter. and certainly has better farm potential. Slaughter has awful farm potential. Oh gosh, and tomorrow he's stacking Ancients, but he runs into S4. Now S4 totally knows about this stack, although I think they might have seen it earlier, and tomorrow has to back all the way. Just little things like this not working out for Prius.
Bulldog, he's looking for something. He might find the courier, but it's already behind
slow.
the tier 2. But yeah, they definitely saw his rotation now. The creep wave was on him for a while, so
Yeah.
their
But
jig is
again-
up. But hey, maybe not. Minus is also joining. S4 poking aggressively here, trying to burst on the creep wave, and Bulldog looks like they want to go back in. Tomorrow though,
No.
he's all alone. There's 4 heroes around him. It's a bristleback, but he should still probably die if they all go on him.
Yeah, there's 4 here, he's dead.
There you go.
But we'll-
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna static link him. Oh, actually,
Nice.
where's the void? Did they already use it? Where?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is all coming down to Bane doesn't actually have Nightmare yet, and they opened with the void on Nightstalker. I think he shouldn't have opened for that. He probably didn't check the inventory rocking on tomorrow and saw a TP. So a really fantastic quick thinking by tomorrow, and that just makes that was 3 heroes rotated for that. Io's been chillaxing all over the map, but 3 hero rotation, you don't get a kill. That's a huge amount of wasted space. This first night, they're gonna get nothing. I mean, unless they murder everyone bottom lane, which is still possible.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's maybe a little bit of a Casus curse once again striking here, in which case I would be very sorry about 2 lines. But hey, well, TP, just having the presence of mind to just realize, alright, they used the void, they may not have Nightmare yet, as he hasn't shown it on the map, so hey, might get away with this if I just TP right now, and yeah, not wasting any time, getting out of trouble. Not giving Alliance the first blood here in the first nighttime, which is about to end, so...
Also, can we just talk about how we're in a game with Alliance versus Prius, 2 teams that I kind of expected more action, and we still don't have first blood in 8 minutes?
It happens sometimes. It happens. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily expect it here, especially with the Night Stalk on one side, and the Slaughter as well. He is also known to rotate around, but he kind of wants to have his Blink Dagger first, and with the pressure that he's been under, he's only now starting to farm it up after the treads. So might still wait my 3, 4, 5 minutes until next nighttime at least before we see too much action.
I don't know if you're following the Night Stalker with the haste, but it actually looks like he's flying when he has a haste. That's really cool. So just Dota things. The other thing I worry about here for Prius is this game goes on like this. It really does feel like they're at the disadvantage. Razor will be able to steal a lot of what's coming out of Bristleback, although with the passive, the Warpath, he should be able to run out. Again, it just depends. If this Razor goes Sange and Yasha, he's a race car. So it's really hard to see a situation where this sitting back and farming is good for Prius.
Hello.
And, they rotated 4, and they pick off Admiral Bulldog during the daytime. That's how you kill a Night Stalker. So
Barely caught the tail end of that. I was dozing off for a bit, and then I was like, huh, why are there so many icons down in the bottom lane? And then, well, there's your first blood, Night Stalker going down.
So, but on the other hand, it's still, I mean, it's good. Slaughter gets some kill involvement. Rubik actually picks up the kill. Prius probably happy about that, so he can get more farm. He actually has a lot of gold right now. Might go for a false blink, but probably Arcane. It feels like Prius need to smoke up and do something. Because really, this Chaos Knight, he will outfarm you, and Minuts and Loda just having a ball in top lane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have the spirits out.
Yeah, they almost got the tower down, so it doesn't really look like the Priest is ready to defend, or if they want to, yeah, no, then not gonna get there in time. It's of course the one tower that you can't afford to lose, not really providing too much. I mean, sure, a little bit of access to the enemy side jungle, but it's not as important as the Dire side offlane tier 1 tower, which gives you ready access to Roshan as well, so it's... You can't let that go. The problem is, of course, that Chaos Knight getting huge, and you're just 71 last hits, and... Well, the only good thing is that it's not a hero that can really easily take Ancients at this point, or else that stack might be in trouble.
Yeah. So, just a little correction. I thought TMW was tomorrow. Apparently it's Tame My Wild.
Yeah, I knew it.
Just heads up. I didn't. I've been saying tomorrow, because that's how I would read that, as tomorrow.
Yeah.
And,
I had an inkling
I'm really
earlier.
smart. So anyway, Tame My Wild. I'll try to work on that, folks, and stop calling him tomorrow. Although I would argue both names excellent. Tame My Wild, a little... Although he's on Bristleback, guess it makes sense. Either way, we got a gank rotation top and Queen of Pain. She actually blinks back into the Io, but Io not exactly a hero with his stuff. So, gonna be just fine.
All miners can reduce bleep and bloop and maybe try and slow it down with the tether, but it's not really going to do anything. So, unfortunate to say the least, that's still the Queen of Pain up there who What's her progression? Yeah, still level 1 Blink, putting 3 points up into the Scream of Pain just to have that burst potential. But we have yet to see her rotate out here. It's actually going Treads to trying to get some extra stats to do that with.
Did you see what happened, bottom?
Nope.
Okay, so Slaughter Slytherin's crushed the small camp, and then Razor right here, he Slytherin crushed it and was working on it, and then Razor came in, used that plasma field, and took it all. It's just one thing after another. As we talked about Slaughter, he's a single target hero, really. He doesn't have a great amount of AoE, and so he's getting closer to that blink, but his farming is super slow. So
well, not quite as fast as you would want to with the sprint. Oh, as you were moving with the sprint. But yeah, that's one of the problems of Slaughter. But at the same time, he's almost got it. So all things considered, still a good time here considering the kind of start that he had and truly having the best lane. But now, yeah, might see another pickup on Bulldog. There we go, gets lifted up into the air, but just a little bit off of the timing here. Slaughter only now comes back in. Even turning around before picking up his blink. There we go.
I'm still really worried for PRIES. It feels like they're giving Loda so much space. He's got a Midas. He's going to have the armlet soon if that's what he goes for. It could also be the helm. He is not being contested pushing towers. It makes his whole team benefit.
Oh, Bulldog gets a crush with the amplified damage and the follow-up lift up. Do they have more here? They need a little bit more, maybe one more right click. He doesn't get it, but another blink is available in 3 seconds. Tamer Wild also coming in to try and slow him down. No help from Alliance just yet. Minus comes in to try and do so, but now only ready for the turn run. Fast flow sprints up to north, whereas S4 links up Tamer Wild to try and do some counter damage, but not quite fast enough as yeah, the Slaughter manages to TP out. Once again, the lack of a stun on the support hero not really doing them any favors right now.
Gonna walk out. Razor getting, oh, he's getting close to the Sanjin Yasha. I don't know if that just means they're gonna make Io go mech, or Razor's just gonna ignore it entirely this game. They might also really want Io to get an eventual Guardian Greaves, since it helps a bit against the minus armor strata. They might just say, no,
they're gonna go here.
Going on mid.
Yeah, he should be dead this time. Maybe not. Blink in, crush from Slaughter. He's going on Minots here. Will burst him down, but Bristleback still dies. There's a Phantasm from Loda, but the Winter Curse only enters 4. Is it going to be enough? With the crush, maybe they need a little bit more, but now Admiral Bulldog comes back in faster, not having too much damage. 4 seconds done with the Cold Embrace, keeping him alive for now, and that's why Alliance have to run out Loda. Yeah, still alive here, being kept up by a salve here after the little bit of armor toggling happened. So 1-for-1 trade in favor of Alliance here, you could say. Wisp going down, who already has his level 6, so no big loss there for the mid Bristleback.
Yeah. So really nice. We should start to see some relocates coming out as well. That's the other problem with giving them this farm. They actually just go for a smoke. It looks like, yeah, they want to go into PRIES' jungle. Take out someone hiding in there, and it's probably going to be Slaughter that they run into here. He's trying to do stacks, but again, you're single target, and he may just go down here. He might get scouted by the... Are they using balls to scout? No, they're just jumping. Goodbye.
Yeah, he's actually dead. If they just walk a little bit further, the vision was not there. The nighttime vision betraying them.
Yeah, he actually saw them and Bane wasn't in range for any of the spells to stop him. I think actually was in range of Fiend's Grip. But either way, we've got a weird...
Wow, Loda! He's going in on Windex, but once again, the Cold Embrace is there to keep him alive, and now the turnaround from Tamer Wild, but once again, the drag back on the Queen of Pain? No, Minus? I don't know how I keep quiet, but hey, the action goes on, and they will bring down the Wisp as Fastlow comes in with another Blink stun, but Tamer Wild finally dies, and now 4 heroes against 1. No Name, not really able to provide enough help. It's a 4-for-1 trade at the end, make it a 4-for-5. Maybe he gets out. Not this time. 4 seconds stun, just for good measure. And Windex teleports back in just to see the corpses of his entire team in front of him.
And we can see just like that, Alliance showing that they're dominant in this game because nobody's been kind of putting a stop to them. Unfortunate for PRIES, things started out a little bit better at the team fight that started happening up there, but just couldn't really seal the deal. They don't have the damage right now, and I'm not 100% sure how they get it. Bristleback looks like he's building a Crimson God as well, which it helps against illusions. But I think he needed a Heaven's Halberd here.
I'm not sure if that's the way to go for PRIES, because right now, if you look at the lineup, if you look at Slaughter, as well as the Bristleback, those are heroes that want to take sustained fights, right? You want to stay in the fights for as long as possible, so you can get a lot of quill sprays, so you can use a lot of the Slytherin Crush and get amplified damage up on everyone. Right now, though, they're lacking in sustain. They don't have a mechanism that I'm aware of. They have some initiation from Slaughter, but that doesn't really help you too much most of the time if you're the one being initiated on. All they really have to fall back on in terms of defensive potential is the Cold Embrace from No Name here. And right now, that's just not enough with the Chaos Knight who has Phantasm, just using it to break down a tower. Yeah, but also Midas, an Armlet of Mordigion, if that's the right way to pronounce it, I've never really found out. And going into Heart right now. Yeah, just
And
Armlet.
yeah, there's a reload creep. We
lane.
got action in the middle. It looks like we're taking
Nice.
some balls to the face on the slaughter. They're actually going to get stopped up. Io in a bit of a danger, but here comes the chase S4. He's lickety split on that bloody razor, and now he's going to be seeing if he can catch somebody out. His leash is on cooldown. He's just doing so much damage to Tame My While, even though he's getting hit in the back. And with this, with the stun, oh, a nice sonic wave. They can't kill them in that right now. Okay, Diakuri
Tactical
goes down
boss.
and Aki disconnects. That's
Oh wow.
pretty bad. Is there an auto attack? No, there's nothing flying out towards Admiral Bulldog. The Splinter Blast is off of CD though, and of course that thing has an AoE. It's pretty big, but I don't know if he wants to come in that close. I was gonna say, it feels like Alliance has a little bit of a problem right now dealing with somebody in the Cold Embrace, because their magic damage for that is a little bit low, and they may actually not do as well as they wanted in this team fight, depending on whether Bulldog gets in or out.
Bulldog should definitely start running right now. Doesn't really have a way to heal himself up. And wouldn't be too surprised if Alliance back out now and Priest lets them at the same time. Loda is still pretty healthy, he still has the armlet to fall back on, as well as the Wisp. Not actually anywhere near the fight right now, but will be there soon enough. So, and yeah, Sonic Wave is also down, as well as the Cold Embrace, so there's a potential for a re-engagement here. One of the problems is though the courier going down in the midst of that. A little bit of a miscontrol Alliance, a little bit too fast in the chase. Not really looking for that. And that was the Sergeant Yasha actually for us for. The Sergeant Recipe as well as the Belt of Strength were on there. So S4 finding a little bit of a diminished capacity here, you could say.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. I feel like it's hard for PRIES here. They might be able to actually take this team fight, but as you said, a lot of the big ults already came out. And okay, have we seen a Fiend's Grip this game?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so I think we're about to see a... Okay, this is really tense.
Find out soon. Another exciting episode of D2CL.
Let's see what exactly. So we got Eye of the Storm hitting on Flo. Let's see if there's any follow-up. No, okay, it looks like both teams just want to kind of back out. I mean, that happens sometimes after pauses. I feel it's very tense. You're kind of deciding what you want to do, and you're probably both like, if we all get out of this alive, I'm happy. Both teams agree on that.
It's more of a gentleman's agreement, I feel like, more than anything else, because, well, it kind of sucks to just DC in the middle of a team fight for both teams, really, because you're kind of in the flow and then you're out of it, and then anything that happens afterwards may not have happened if the pause wasn't there just for that reason. So I really like how teams usually say, all right, let's just both back off and yeah, try another time. The game is long enough.
We've got some items coming out. Razor continuing to get tankier. Bane is going Glimmer Cape. I don't know what died on the courier either because of the pause. I couldn't...
was the Sanj and the Belt of Strength. That's the default Sanj and Yasha for Razor.
Yeah. That sucks a bit.
Yeah.
It's okay, and I wonder whether on Loda this is a casual vitality booster. He might build something in between the hot, but I don't know. His form is really good. It could be one of those where he's like, yeah guys, I'm pretty sure I can get a 25-minute hot. How do you feel about it? And they're all like, yeah, seems good.
Yeah, whatever, man. As long as you're killing
know.
people. Speaking of items though, oh well, Gang Train.
Yeah,
I connect on Loda actually
on
my nuts. I don't know, Tamer Wild. We'll see the Wisp here who has a rune, and now should be alright. But yeah, speaking of items, both Wisp as well as Nightstalk in this game both built an urn. How do you feel about double urns on a team?
So clearly it's not the best, but it could be that Alliance agreed that Io first.
Oh, hang on, Bulldog gets stunned up at the Nightmare here. Try and keep him safe, and is it going to be enough? There's 4 heroes around Admiral Bulldog. Now the teleport comes in. Winter Curse used to bring him down. But there's the Phoenix group here onto Fast Floor. Once again, the Cold Embrace keeping alive Tamer Wild. He's laying down on Arca here, barely keeping himself alive a little bit longer. But now, Loda looking for a target, didn't quite find one. Midas now dies, now Loda's all alone. Can try and armlet toggle, but not fast enough up against the magical burst from the Queen of Pain. All of a sudden, a 4-for-1 trade at the end of it all. This S4 cleans up the slaughter at least. But that's not exactly what Alliance wanted to happen right there.
Classic case of one going in one after another. Also, the Fiend's Grip on the Cold Embrace target. I think he was Cold Embrace before the Fiend's Grip. I
No,
didn't quite
no,
see that.
it was
could've-
after, right after,
After,
though.
yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
Oh,
Oh,
hello!
actually,
Nighttime. Tamer Wild, he's linked up, but he's teleporting out again. No further lockdown. But now, Nuts and Arke actually coming in to try and help out, and that'll be the Winter Wyvern going down at the very least to Admiral Bulldog. And Windex does get caught by one last right click, so at the very least, they still got something out of this.
Not nearly as good as the team fight was for PRIES. They got about 3k off that previous team fight, and Alliance only gets about 1k swing. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that as a counter. It's clearly fantastic. We saw even level 1 Cold Embrace is out damaging the first level in Fiend's Grip. So it just kind of negated that, and I think Arky needs to choose the target. He of course went on the Slaughter because he didn't want Slaughter to come in and Slithering crush some more and be a pain, but it just ended up being completely wasted Fiend's Grip.
Yep. I mean, it was a decent plan. I mean, Slaughter was the one in front here, the obvious target. You kind of feel like you're a little bit protected sitting under the tier 1 tower as well, but 20 minutes in, that's not really going to do too much up against a Bristleback who has been able to finish up his Crimson Guard before that, thanks to that huge Ancient stack that went uncontested, so hey, he just went in, didn't have a care in the world, and by the time that the rest arrived, yeah, damage was already done, as you said, and just going in one by one.
Yeah, so the Crimson Guard is up on the Bristleback. He's got a Sange. I do think it's the Heaven's Hell, but it could also just be a Sange and Yasha. Maybe he wants to go fast. It does give you good damage as well, and of course that added move speed. And we got a smoked up
my nuts.
Slaughter.
Okay, he just pops the smoke, and they want a fast flow to engage, I believe, or maybe they thought Wisp wasn't alone there. But
Oh, he was
my nuts gets
invisible.
out. Oh, he was? Oh wow, it's so
Yeah,
hard to
you can't tell. Yeah.
God damn it,
Sorry, I
Dota,
only
please.
because I clicked on him. So, yeah.
I was
he
like, what the hell?
invisible there. Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I was there. He's just like dropping. What's going on? Yeah, he had an invis, so he was fine. Welcome to IO things. It's not even reborn things. That's just plain up
Yeah,
IO
it's
things.
always been the case, right? I mean, it's the same with in pauses. You actually can't see the hero at all. Just a circle on the ground. I don't know how that works, but hey,
So,
we put up with it.
Wyvern has the Arcane. Slaughter looks to be going for a forced BKB. It's an interesting item. I feel like...
Radiant's top tower is
So,
under attack.
I'm saying it's interesting because Fiend's Grip, of course, goes through... I can't remember whether you can cast Cold Embrace. Okay, you can cast it on your BKB friend.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure of that, but you can. So, it's... He can still have that synergy, but, of course, it doesn't stop nighttime vision. Razor can still static link you.
Yeah, it feels like it's subpar this game just because of all the things that
I
go
have the
through
Soul's
BKB and
physical.
and the physical damage, as I said. But at the same time, Slaughter. I mean, if you do get locked down just by a Nightmare, is it or just the
Nightmare,
stun from the Chaos Knight
stuns.
and the repositioning tool from the Reality Rip. I mean, I think he just gets it for that more than anything else. Just to make sure that he can play his hero more than anything else.
Yeah. It's certainly a real pain when you blink in, you want to go ham, and you get stunned out. So it's not awful at all. It's just maybe not. It's just unfortunately not one of those games where it's like BKB easily stop the other team because there is so much stuff on Alliance that goes through BKB. Either way, Alliance still ahead, about a 5,000 net worth, 5,000 experience. It's not awful. One team fight can swing this. We saw you can get 3k gold easily on team fights at this stage, but Night Stalker, he actually, Bulldog didn't go for the Midas. We see that really commonly. He's just going straight Aghanims.
Dire's
Yeah,
structure
about 1,500 gold away from it too, and same time, PRIES looking for the tier 1 tower on top. Looks like it will go uncontested, as it's only Minot and Loda up here who should probably not go in there all alone.
It is Sange and Yasha as well on Bristleback. So
Yeah, just
I
all
don't-
aggression right now. I think that's... they think this is now their time to strike before Loda actually gets too huge to deal with.
yeah, and as we say that, he just bought one. He bought the Reaper. So this team fight gonna be interesting. They have options for relocating behind. Razor's just gonna run at their faces because you're a Razor. You're very tanky. Also has a BKB up here. BKB, I think, against PRIES, you got pure damage ult, but it'll stop a lot of what's coming out of Rubik, and also it makes you not attack your Winter's Curse allies. So it does mean that Razor doesn't, steal a bunch of damage and then kill one of his allies.
Another thing that I want to point out really quickly is Windex down here. I think he may have just disassembled his Glimmer Cape, to use the Shadow Amulet to just stay there invis the whole time.
I like it.
I've never actually seen it used like that before. I mean, may not make a difference here in this, but just a cute little play that you can apparently do, so... Well, the siege is still on. Alliance deciding whether to engage, and PRIES ready to cannon initiate as well, with the Wyvern ready with the Winter's Curse, which is probably the single most devastating spell that Alliance can run into right now. Even, or especially with the Chaos Knight Illusions.
Alliance can wait a bit here, though. They can posture because both of their lanes have huge waves, both bottom and mid. So they're going to get free damage, yeah, and we can see the TP's back from Bristleback. He doesn't want to let them lose damage on that tier 2. So I don't think they'll catch anybody out here. So, yep, that'll be that. Nobody really gets a tower.
Yeah, nobody really gets anything apart from a little bit of damage here to this tier 2. So technically a win for PRIES, because no one was really farming on the side of Alliance either, but it's so marginal that it's barely worth mentioning, really. One thing that's worth mentioning, though, is this Roshan. Actually, we've been talking about how we might see an early Rosh here, especially on the side of PRIES, but up until now, they haven't really put any emphasis on that. Why do you think that is?
No, I think just worried about pit fight. You get relocated on, it's hard to escape. The Night Stalker can have a lot of good impact, but maybe also just they've been feeling pressured and just not felt the right time. It is pretty easy for them to take with amp damage. It's also something where Alliance could go and try to take it, hoping they get Chaos Strike. I don't know what, are we calling that meld? I don't think we're calling it adds meld strike, no?
Chaos
just,
Strike minus armor.
Yeah, minus armor, no technical term.
Straight up now.
Yeah, and he's about to have the bloody hot. I was a little bit early on my call. It's going to be about 27 minutes in, yeah, when it finally gets delivered because of the courier usage. And they're going to try to defend this bottom tower, are they? Got Glimmer Cape action by Aki if he can initiate with this, but they're so fast. That's Sprint. Okay, Sprint lost patch. It got buffed, right? And it now lets you phase through things, but it's also just always been super, super fast. And now has better uptime than before. And Io, he's picking up another invis, so if you see weird stuff, it's probably that he's invis.
Yeah, I was just making a mental note of that myself, because, yeah, there you go, use it immediately. It literally is no difference. It's seriously.
Now he's just gonna hit Tame My Wild with the balls, and Tame My Wild's like, what's going on? Actually, he has a good idea. He, of course, knows that he got hit by balls, but Minot's doing a good job there of just being a bit of a pain, so. Now, as this game, this game has been really slow, considering there's an IO. I feel like PRIES doing a really good job of the way you deal with relocate is you stay more grouped up. You play together in groups, either all 5 or in kind of those pairs, so that you don't get picked off. And again, Windex disassembling and staying invis. He did it again. Yeah. It's really cute.
Cute little play, but yeah, speaking of invis or visibility in general, if you look at the Alliance vision, they have this one observer ward blocking out the ancient camp, as well as this one that's about to expire on the bottom rune spot. So it's one of the things that you kind of need to make sure that you get safe relocate gangs off is vision. You need to know where everyone is at the right time, or else if you may just run into an ambush, and that's not really what you want to have happen here. Just losing 2 heroes for free essentially at that point. So it doesn't look like Alliance really wanted to play this game in the first place. I mean, they're just split pushing.
Trade.
I mean, it's Alliance. It's not really unexpected, right?
Yeah, and Loda may... Oh, that's a really long TP from Flo, so... I thought if he came in faster, Loda might go for it, but no. It's also something where they just got a tier 2 for their tier 1 on the off lane.
Yep.
It's not a hero. Yes, it helps with getting to Rosh faster, this tower, but it's not like top or middle, which really protects your jungle and make it easier to stop people from ganking or invading your jungle. So it's fine to lose it, especially since you just got a tier 2. The map presence of PRIES just got weaker. So.
Yep. Nice little D ward here, fresh rune at the spot, plus a sentry ward and a DD rune, so that might actually prompt Alliance to go for Roche or maybe a pick off. Who knows? Yeah.
We have Slaughter. We've seen a lot of the utility Slaughter go for a 4-staff, but this one he's trying to play carry, and actually there's a gank train, but he's going AC. Queen of Pain also, she gets ganked, she's going to lose so much gold. There's the crippling fear, and holy
ouch!
Cow. That was a 1400 crit, did I just see that right? And now they're going again! Bristleback, he's being tethered up with the static link, and oh gosh, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. The move speed coming out of Alliance with this tether, with this race car, and now he's popped that Eye of the Storm, and Bristle's really fast himself with Warpath, but I think they're gonna catch him eventually, although they might take a lot of damage. So relocate just in case, and he's dead. Loda doesn't get any ridiculous crits that time, but oh my goodness, I'm not crazy, right? You saw that crit was...
Yeah, it was super huge. Of course, it was yeah, it was a crit plus a DD, and that tends to like break the charts a little bit. But hey, it's always great to see that, especially on a Chaos Knight who's, well, it's Chaos Knight, right? You, it's always fun just to see that hero get, yeah, can screw the enemy over or themselves even just with a random chance. But now with these two pickups, they will feel safe enough to go for Roshan. That should be a safe pickup here, unless PRIES really want to go for it. That would require buyback and Bristleback though, and a concerted effort here to move into Roche, but right now it's dropping rather fast.
Yeah, you get those Chaos Strikes. Roche, he's not the strongest when it comes to armor. Also, just these heroes are fat. We talked about this, leaving Loda alone on this Chaos Knight. I am... Okay, sorry, the police are like outside my apartment. That's always
What did
fun.
you do, Llama? What did you do?
You know, it's my immigrant status? No, it's fine. I live above a ball. This happens. Anyway, it looks like they're off. Chaos Knight, he has a point booster.
Yes. What's actually gonna do with that?
I mean,
Scotty.
it could
I guess
just
Scotty.
I think Scotty is the obvious choice. I'm trying to think if anything else is decent. Throwing up blanks, but I just thought it was funny because my mind immediately was like, well, your alliance, you like split pushing, you can pick up Octarine and beat it with Phantasm. It's awful, guys, it's awful, I'm joking. But my mind was immediately like, well, it is alliance. You could pretend you're Naga Siren.
Hey, 7.5-second cooldown on the Chaos Bolt.
And
You better.
Yeah, very silly. But yeah, of course it is the Scotty showing, and maybe gonna do something to force flow here if they can get the damage. Alki opens with the Fiend's Grip out of it. Oh gosh, now they have the pull. They have the everything they need. They have the Void, and oh, this is just... It's a really hard gank to see, and a really nice initiation with the Crimson God. So...
Yeah, now all of a sudden we find ourselves in a position where PRIES is once again to force to try and take tower trades, and it's tier 2 for potentially tier 3. Loda gets an extra Phantasm Illusion too, so this tower will definitely force out the glyph. There it is, and PRIES will have to fight right now. Without the Slaughter, he doesn't have buyback. You're lacking a lot, big control factor, and it is still nighttime. Admiral Bullock still has his ultimate. Oh wow, they actually didn't find a Winter Wyvern. The Sire burst him down, and now the stun on Admiral Bullock actually stole from Windex, but he will fall to S4 here, not giving a damn. Whereas Loda's just munching on the racks, and hey, GG!
Yeah,
that escalated quickly.
I feel like next game I will be banned out. As you pointed out, you can say it escalated quickly, but it really actually was just, I feel, the slow suffocation of PRIES' team. They took a couple good fights at taking advantage of Alliance's mispositioning in that mid lane when they all TP'd in one after another, but it just wasn't enough against Loda with free farm. I mean, 25.5-minute halt.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Say.
Once again showing us that you can't underestimate that Chaos Knight or any sort of whiz combination here, for that matter. But yeah, that's might have not been the most action-packed game, but definitely a very solid performance from Alliance. PRIES, it felt like they had a plan, but just couldn't quite execute it with the lane decisions as well. Queen of Pain not really showing up at all, neither with Bristleback or Slaughter, not really getting too much done, and then yeah, just being outpushed and outfarmed by Alliance. But hey, it was only game 1, and this is the best of 3, so we will be back in just a couple of moments' time. My name is DragonDrop Dota, and I'm joined by the wonderful Llama Down Under, so stick with us.